Saul Canelo Alvarez, a pound-for-pound star with a glittering resume, seeking the biggest names available to enhance his already stellar legacy. Since losing in 2013 to the imperious Floyd Mayweather, Canelo has made it his mission to take over the mantle as boxing's #1 fighter.
There's a perfect straight right hand, and surely he's gonna stop the fight.
After years of improvements, training under the experienced eye of coach Eddie Reynoso, Canelo has matured into an all-around fighting machine.
Yeah, the head movement's great from Alvarez. He's just slipping and sliding and making Jenkins miss.
Moving through the weights, winning world titles, and building his reputation, Canelo found himself up as high as light heavyweight, knocking out Sergey Kovalev.
Oh, well, he's caught him with the left hand, and his balance went completely, and the referee waves this one over, and just like that.
Pushing aside the unrealistic option of remaining at 175 pounds to tackle the beasts of the division. And with his days at middleweight concluded, the 30-year-old Guadalajara fighter is currently plying his trade as a flexible super middleweight.
Fight over. Oh, big beautiful body shot. He almost goes down. It is over.
Threats lurk around every corner, and a list of willing candidates remain in place to try to be the man to dethrone boxing's king.
Canelo, let's go, man. Let's unify this division. Let's have one champion. It's right here. Let's do it. That's it. There's no more running. There's no more games. Let's put it all on the line and see who's the best. Mano y mano, cojones for cojones. Let's go. Viva la Mexico!
After his knockout win over tough Turkish contender Avni Yildrim, we take an up-close look at some of his potential opponents and ask the question, who is the biggest threat to Canelo Alvarez? Viewed by some as the most legitimate threat to Canelo's status, Billy Joe Saunders has been busier outside of the ropes over recent years. A tidy boxer with sound fundamentals and good movement, Saunders has the tools to trouble Canelo.
Great action here. Billy Joe Saunders floors him again.
From his 2012 knockout of unbeaten Australian Jared Fletcher, right up to the night he dropped and outpointed Andy Lee to win the WBO middleweight belt, Saunders was a fighter on the rise.
And the new WBO middleweight champion of the world.
His 2017 outboxing of Canadian power puncher David Lemieux was meticulously dominant, and the world appeared to be his oyster.
To Saunders' matador, you know, he can make him miss, he'll make him pay.
Oh, good shot, great right hand from Saunders. The most telling punch of the fight so far. And Lemieux was stunned by that.
Billy Joe was last seen defending his WBO belt against grizzled British veteran and multiple world title challenger Martin Murray.
Oh, big right uppercut from Billy Joe.
Yeah, lovely sweet shot that.
Saunders has ballooned up and down in weight throughout his career and will need to be fit and firing if he is to have any chance of upstaging Canelo Alvarez.
This year it's going to be very special. May the 8th, Canelo Alvarez will continue to make history trying to unify the division again against Billy Joe Saunders, the WBO world champion, 30-0. It's Canelo against Saunders, May the 8th, venue announced shortly. It's going to be one of the biggest fights of the year as he continues to move to the undisputed championship at 168 pounds.
If he can arrive motivated, in shape, and with the bit between his teeth, then Saunders has the skill set to cause some serious problems for the fight favorite. A tall, rangy puncher with an explosive style, David Benavidez has been turning heads since his debut.
Bending down, takes another right hand, lifts it. This one is over.
It's over.
Bringing size, reach, and a powerful straight jab to the party, Benavidez sets up his attack with poise and precision before bludgeoning opponents to defeat.
He's ever been past 7 rounds. Oh, knockdown, scored!
He is not yet the finished article, as his first win over Ronald Gavril indicated. But the Arizona man is young enough to improve if he can display and maintain the hunger required to make it to the top.
And still undefeated WBC super middleweight champion of the world.
A high-level operator like Canelo will not be as easy to deter as the likes of Julian Love, who Benavidez destroyed in 2019.
He's got to use his legs.
Oh, big right by Benavidez. That's it.
Or Rogelio Porky Medina, whose head resembled a speedball when Benavidez smashed him in 2017.
And another body shot, and a left hook to the body, and now David Benavidez
comes upstairs and is trying to bring an end to the night of
Canelo's ability to judge the distance, slide in and out of range, and intelligently hunt the head and body makes him a solid favorite. The likes of Rocky Fielding and Callum Smith held size advantages, yet Canelo was able to systematically dismantle both opponents.
hard right hand. Smith is hurt. Buckled on the ropes. The ropes kept him up.
Benavidez already looks a different quality to those fighters and would expect to enter the ring with a much better chance if he were to face Canelo down the line.
Hitman Charlo.
Hailing from Texas, with a twin brother also making his mark on the sport, Jermall Charlo has long been touted as a future star. A patient, probing fighter who likes to work behind the jab and let go with big shots when the time is right, Charlo would need to take his work rate up a notch if he is to consistently trouble Canelo.
Oh, and there's a left uppercut that sends Hogan rolling backwards.
Jermall is on a good run of form, having won the WBC title at middleweight and made successful defenses, with a couple of heavy knockout wins sprinkled in for good measure.
Down goes Bucktie, and Charlo scores the third round TKO.
His points victory over Sergei Derevyanchenko last time out was a good win for Charlo, given the marauding Ukrainian's previous company and performance.
WBC middleweight champion of the world, Jermall Hitman Charlo.
On the way home, baby.
Charlo also won the IBF crown at 154, where he defeated classy veteran Austin Trout and knocked out fellow unbeaten prospect Julian Williams in one of his most eye-catching displays to date. Now that Canelo has split from Golden Boy and separated in a contractual capacity from Dazn, effectively making himself a free agent, the Mexican star can pick and choose his opponents, dates, and venues. Traveling across the divide to box Jermall Charlo would be a positive move. A slick mover with silky skills and an engaging personality, Caleb Plant has been steadily going about his business since picking up the IBF super middleweight title in 2019 off Jose Uzcategui.
IBF super middleweight champion of the world.
Plant has recorded some standard wins since, against the likes of Mike Lee, Vincent Feigenbutz, and most recently, Caleb Truax. All good for experience, and at 28 years of age, the Tennessee native now craves defining rights against boxing's biggest names. Canelo Alvarez fits that bill to perfection.
How do you match up against a Canelo?
As I said before, I feel like I'm the best super middleweight in the world. So like I said, who is ever in the way of me becoming the first undisputed champion, you line him up, I'll knock him down, and we'll do it right here on the best platform you can, Fox.
Enjoying main event status on PBC cards has enhanced his reputation, and Sweet Hands is used his superior movement, athletic skill set, and punch-picking abilities to negate his foes.
Good body.
A body shot.
Whether he can use the tricky feints and flamboyant shot selection to bamboozle a fighter of Canelo Alvarez's quality and experience is an entirely different matter.
Oh, big left hook that drops down hell.
Let's take another look at the knockdown. That left hook right there.
While Caleb Truax might be content sitting on the end of a jab for 12 rounds without applying any meaningful pressure, Canelo will be constantly stalking forward, exploring, jabbing upstairs and down, chipping away at Plant. It will be up to the IBF champion to raise his game to an extra level in order to compete. After almost 13 years as a pro, Demetrius Andrade is still knocking on the door of a breakthrough fight, and the Rhode Island native believes that he is the man to upset Canelo Alvarez. While Andrade's cagey style is likely to give even the best fighters trouble, he often becomes overly defensive and falls into a negative posture. Making Canelo miss is one thing, but Andrade would need to commit more offensively to make him pay.
Like this. Oh, right away, Keeler goes down. That's what I'm saying. Keeler goes down instantly.
Whether he can follow the blueprint left by the likes of Arislandi Lara is unclear, given Andrade's safety-first approach.
Corner is going to let him continue after taking the beating. Oh, huge shots here from Andrade. Keeler may be done, and he is. That is it.
The Matchroom fighter enjoys a headlining platform on DAZN and is undoubtedly talented. He was a superb amateur, representing the U.S. at the 2008 Olympic Games. But as a professional, it has not yet clicked for the Providence man.
Still, the reigning and defending undefeated WBO middleweight champion of the world.
Canelo would represent a significant step up in class, and one that might finally bring out the best in Andrade. It is time to show the public what he has been promising for over a decade. Having already contested 24 razor-thin rounds with Canelo, Gennady Golovkin is desperate for a third crack at his bitter rival. With over 40 fights on the slate and a string of middleweight title defenses under his belt, Golovkin is nearing the end of his exciting run at the top. Ever since he annihilated Polish southpaw Grzegorz Proska in 2012, the American audience has sat up to take notice of the man who succinctly promised a big drama show.
Right hand hurts Proska. Golovkin steps in and down he goes again.
Golovkin's devastating power and no-nonsense approach, mixed with a genial persona outside of the ropes, endeared him to the wider boxing public.
Who do you want to fight next?
You know, everybody knows. Of course, guys, I'm ready to September. I'm ready to Canelo. Just bring him. Just ask him. I'm ready. Today I stay here. Just please, guys. You know, just if you want look big drama show, please tell him.
Many still believe he got the better of Canelo Alvarez in at least one of their Las Vegas showdowns, although the Mexican cleverly adapted his tactics in the second fight.
And new
Despite his wins over the likes of Daniel Jacobs and Sergey Derevyanchenko, Golovkin has not added that one standout name to his record and still believes he has the beating of Alvarez.
Oh, with a left hand, sends Sharameta down just like that.
Father Time is not on Golovkin's side as he tries to lure Canelo into the ring one last time.